This channel is called 4chan Diaries, and this video popped up on my feed, and it's called Feminist HR Forces Men to Respect Women by Staying Silent. Panic when it backfires. Now, this kind of reminds me of this old comedy from the 1960s called Hogan's Heroes. The main difference, however, is that Hogan's Heroes is victory, and these HR stories are defeat. Now, you're asking, what do I mean by that? Okay. What I mean is Hogan's Heroes, they're Allied prisoners. So they can't confront the Germans directly. So they have to do it with subterfuge. And everyone has a good laugh when they defeat the Germans. Like, you bad guys are holding us down, but even then we defeat you, right? But again, they're actual prisoners. These losers, these male staffers don't have that excuse. They're not prisoners. They can fight this discrimination directly, but they don't. Anyway, we'll get into some of this. Bring it up again.
Be me, Alex, 28, back-end engineer at a mid-sized tech company. Been here 4 years, keep my head down, write clean code, go home.
See, like, these guys already know that they can't rock the boat, that it always ends up badly for them. Just keep my head down, do my work, keep my mouth shut. They're already like that. It's never good enough because feminism is a hate movement. It's the boot that stomps on the face perpetually.
Life's pretty straightforward until we get a new HR manager 6 months ago. Rachel, 31, always carrying a canvas tote with slogans like "The future is female" and
Future. So, in other words, she's advertising that she is your enemy.
"Nevertheless," she persisted. She's nice enough, but she's got that energy, you know?
Hey, those white nationalists, they're nice enough, but they got that energy, you know? This is how much of a laydown these group of guys are.
The kind where every conversation somehow becomes about systemic issues. Monday morning, I'm grabbing coffee when my phone buzzes company-wide email from Rachel. Subject line: important. New respectful communication policy. Mandatory training this week.
This woman is a leech. HR is a leech of companies. The companies run just well without them. So think about it. This woman, she doesn't have to know anything about the business she's ruining or the guy she's hurting. Right?
I open it standing by the Keurig. The email's long, but the highlights hit like a brick. Recent feedback indicates women's voices are not being heard in meetings. Male colleagues must be mindful of speaking time and interruption patterns. Men should count to 5 before responding to allow women to contribute. If a woman is speaking, do not interject with solutions or corrections.
Not corrections. In other words, if she's wrong, just let her be wrong. Right. Know your place. This is all this is. It's a long-winded know your place.
I read it twice. Then a third time. Jake walks up. He's 30, senior developer. Been here longer than me. He's reading the same email on his phone. "You seeing this?" he mutters.
Yeah, he mutters. He doesn't go, this is an outrage. We got to do something about this.
"Yeah." "Count to 5. He looks up. Like we're in kindergarten.
No. Like you're at Stalag 13. That's what it's like. The women who look after kindergartners might actually like them.
Marcus joins us. 27, front-end guy. Did Rachel seriously just tell us to shut up in meetings?
Yeah, fine. So they get it. Now, this is sexist discrimination. These guys know that really, if they could get together, They can, and approach them directly as a group and say, you're taking this policy down or we're suing. Now, these cowards don't take that route, do they?
We stand there in silence. Devon, our systems engineer, walks over. Group therapy session by the coffee maker? Reading the new policy, I say. Devon skims his phone. Oh, perfect. I've always wanted to be micromanaged based on my gender.
No, spit on, dude. These guys always reframe it. You're not being micromanaged, you're being spit on. It's like Schindler's List. You ever see Schindler's List? The Jewish people are walking down the street and the guards make them shovel snow. They said we're Jewish, so they just assume we should be shoveling snow. This is the same idea. Exact same thing, actually.
Lunchtime, the four of us grab sandwiches and sit outside, nobody saying much, just chewing and thinking.
See? Not seeing much. These guys are already beaten dogs. They should be outraged. Right?
Finally, Jake sets down his sandwich. What if we just follow it exactly? We all look at him. Like, exactly, he continues. She wants us to step back. We step all the way back. Marcus grins slowly. Malicious compliance? Not malicious, Jake says. Just compliance.
No, this is the effort of utter weaklings and cowards. Utter weaklings. You know something, guys? These guys also understand that they're the ones who keep the place going. They know stuff that the women don't know. The problem is, what if it wasn't the case? What if this was a mixed group of janitors and the women could do everything that the guys do? Then these guys would have nothing to fight with other than their dignities. They couldn't take this cowardice route out. Because what would happen is they didn't comply with HR. They just can them all and replace them all with women. They could add them to the male homeless population. That's why what they're doing here is the wrong idea. Okay, we'll skim a little further ahead because this is a half hour long. Notice this is a plan. All these guys work together to do this. So guys can work together to make something happen. So the fact that men don't ever consider just standing up for their rights as men shows you that men want things this way, right? Anyway, let's listen to a bit of this.
Blaine doesn't add context. Rachel waits for more. Nothing comes. Okay, anything else? Marcus. Does anyone else want to add something? Then silence. Sarah looks confused. I think we should prioritize the iOS bugs first.
Now notice that's a question mark. In other words, the women don't know what's going on. They're not engineers. Right? So they need the men. That's what's going on here. The women are leeches. All you guys who are looking for employment, think about this. These guys, they only got this job because they were needed. The women get this job because they just wanted a job. That's what you're up against.
Agreed, says Jen, the PM. They look at us. We're just sitting there, hands folded, pleasant expressions. Rachel moves on, visibly uncertain. Later that meeting, she asks me about database architecture for the new feature. It works, I say. 4-second pause where I look at my watch, happy to answer specific questions. What does it works mean, Alex? The architecture is functional and scalable. I stop talking. But can you
Yeah, we'll go beyond this. You can see what's happening. They're implementing a plan. It is working. But the fact that they chose this route when they didn't have to, these guys could have chosen the direct route. They could have stood up for themselves as men. By the way, I remember there was this old MGTOW called Turd Flinging Monkey who suggested, you guys, if you're having trouble at work, just say you're gender fluid or you're a woman in the body of a man or some bullshit like that, right? Even though he would never do that. Guys never take that route anyway. But the point is, it's never stand up for yourself as a man, right? I'll see what else they have to say here.
Exactly the kind of, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Please continue. I gesture for her to speak. She stares at me. Get out. Thank you for your time. Signal. She's furious.
She's furious with that stupid emoji, right? This is what only a loser would do this. This person told you to get out. You did, you little peon. She's above you. You know how to make this place work. She doesn't. She's a Klingon. She's a leech. Yet she's above you. And your big response is, I got her angry, boys. What a wimpy loser response. This is cope right here, guys. This is cope, right? I got my betters angry. What a loser thing to say. Now we'll see if this woman doesn't get fired, by the way. Just a heads up.
Still talking. I text the group. Even the women who aren't Rachel are noticing. Marcus. Good. Let them complain to her.
Yeah, let our betters fight each other, right? That's the strategy you have when you're under someone's thumb. These guys, they're equals to these women. All they have to do is work together, come as a group and say, this is sexism, and we will sue the company if you continue this. That's all they have to do.
That night, company Slack is unusually active. I don't participate, but I watch. Multiple threads about delayed projects, communication breakdowns, missed timelines.
Yeah. This is all very nice. But again, remember, these guys, they're needed. They actually have the power, right? But at the same time, what if you don't? What if you're in a business where the women can replace you? Again, you can't take this route, this cowardly loser route. Right? Again, I'll skip ahead to see if this woman gets fired. She won't, though. Right? Now look at this guy. An anonymous complaint has been filed regarding potential hostile work environment and gender-based discrimination, which it is. Which it is. Why a single anonymous? Like these guys are so cowardly. They need them to get this stuff done. So all they have to do is form a union. An unofficial union. They come in and show solidarity with one another, right? Now look at this. The respectful communication policy has been permanently discontinued. Site HR manager Rachel has been placed on performance improvement plan for implementing discriminatory workplace policies without proper legal review. So if they reviewed it legally, they could have a discriminatory policy involved. I mean, that's what the language sounds like. But the point is, she was not fired, was she, guys? She's placed on a performance improvement plan. Now, she was brought in, had her hand slapped, and said, don't do it again. Here's your big paycheck. to go and harass these guys some more.
Communication policy has been permanently discontinued. Site HR manager Rachel has been placed on a performance improvement plan for implementing discriminatory workplace policies without proper legal review. Effective immediately, all employees are expected to participate fully in meetings without gender-based restrictions.
All they said there is we want things back to normal so that things would work. This company did not support the male employees. What it did is saying, this is gumming up the works. We're not getting things done. That's why we're doing this. Otherwise, they don't care. The company's fine with these guys suffering discrimination, sex discrimination. And that's why what these cowards did is loathsome to me. And it's also why men can't go that route. Again, all these guys who refuse to engage in men's rights activism and say it won't work, they work incredibly well when they want to take this cowardly route, do they? Right? They work really well and they coordinate and they get things done. So again, these guys like it as it is. They have to. That's the only conclusion I can come to. Right? They love being Hogan's heroes. Being little slave boys, little, internment camp boys. Really, it sickens me. Anyway, I'm ending off. This has to end. And what guys have to do is start forming unions against HR. Saying HR is a sexist group implemented to harass us. And we want it gone, or we want at least a union that fights back against it. Anyway, that's what we're ending with.